I love movies, but I hate the theaters. That's a very common opinion that a lot of people have nowadays. But why do people hate movie theaters so much? Well, hell, I don't know. I can't read everybody's minds at once. Last time I did that, I saw things that scarred me for life. Dylan, your thoughts in particular freaked me out. But I can tell you why I hate the theaters.
Theaters, fun, but they stab my wallet.
When I was a younger Griffin, I'd go down to my local movie theater all the time in the summer. Hell, 10 years ago, it was really awesome. Tickets were just over $6, and that was half as much as I could scrounge up in the local fountains for coins for some tourists threw in every day for some reason. I could get myself a pop and nachos to boot. At least on those lucky days. But nowadays, the entire movie theater experience practically costs about 3.5 fingers. Or for those who actually have the money to burn, just over $9. Now, that's not bad, if it was just for the whole movie experience, that is. But no! They charge $5 for a box of candy? What? Popcorn and a medium soda? Each? So you're gonna be looking about just under $20 for a pleasant movie experience. If you're alone. Let me tell ya, movie theaters are primo dating locations, boys and girls, mainly because of the dark atmosphere in the movie playing. A slight tangent to make sure she knows it's one of those kind of movie outings. But back to point, if you're going to go with just one other person, you gotta double the cost of everything. 2 tickets, 2 sodas, 2 snacks, double the price, but none of the pleasure!
When in doubt, smuggle it out!
Now, I'm a cheap jerk. And not because I want to be, but because I have to be. I wear cheap clothes, I have cheap food, and I even have a pre-owned YouTube channel that belonged to some weird white-haired guy. Yeah, that is ugly! So, as you can imagine, I'm not the kind of person who wants to pay too much to have fun. A lot of the time, I'll mosey on over to the local gas station and pick up a few things. Now, a little tip for those who actually want to sneak in stuff like bottles of soda, candy bars, or even a prime rib sandwich, and you don't want to get invested in a man purse, get a denim jacket. I'm serious, a lot of denim jackets have inner pockets inside the coat, and you can easily stash away a couple bottles of soda or some food in there too. One time I was even able to sneak in an entire Subway sandwich in my pockets. Now, normally I wouldn't advocate this sort of thing because it would hurt the business, and the last thing I want to see is movie theaters going out of business. I gotta have the illusion that I'm not some lonely hermit and have some facade of a social life outside of YouTube and Skype. But it's the movie theater's fault to begin with. If they didn't charge $4 for a bottle of water, then I wouldn't be sneaking in my own personal fridge in my jacket pocket. What? It's bigger on the inside.
Moviegoers suck! Turn off your damn cell phone!
Now, let's talk about the actual movie experience. A while ago, I went with my old man to see Doctor Strange. Surprisingly good film, by the way, as we have a tradition to go to the movie theaters whenever he and I meet up. Well, after we beat the ever-living stuffing out of each other for no apparent reason. So, after sneaking in our own personal deep fryer, we were sitting in the theater waiting for the film to start when someone sat in front of us. Now, word to the wise, my family and I usually sit in the back so we can get a good view of the movie. Now we got this goofball sitting in front of us, and it's one of those people. You know those kind of people, the people who don't know when to shut their pie holes and chuckle like a hyena at the slightest provocation.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
Now, that wasn't too bad. After all, people will laugh at the dumbest of things. My channel's in a prime example of that. But what really got me was this. They brought out their cell phone.
I got 5 million subscribers.
Now, if it's before the movie, that's not a problem at all. You can talk all you want, you can tweet, you can text, you can look at some questionable material while you're waiting for the movie to begin. I don't care. But when you keep the damn thing going on throughout the film, that's where I draw the line. It's fine if you want to waste your money and time on your own cell phone, but if you want to ruin my time watching the film, tweeting about how you're ruining other people's times, that's when I get mad. And when you try to tell them to stop using their damn phone after tweeting or talking to one of their dumbass friends, they look at you as if you're the bad guy. Excuse me, sir, could you please not use your phone?
I don't have to listen to you. I have 5 million subscribers.
I mean, good for you, but that doesn't...
5 million subscribers!
Put your damn cell phone away! And this is a problem that everyone has at least once dealt with. And if you haven't, then congratulations, you're one of these jerks! Now, what can be done about this? Simple. Have a damn clerk in the theater in the back. And I'm not talking about one of those skinny teenagers that they have at the snack bar whose face looks like it was swimming in the butter that my old man ordered with his popcorn. No, 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 no. What we need is a bouncer-like person.
5 million subscribers?
The moment they see that glow of a cell phone during the movie, they're on the hunt. They're on the prowl, and they'll throw the offender out.
5 million subscribers!
I would pay to see a movie just to see that.
Gimmicks. Can't live with them. Can't live. No, wait. No, that's it. You just can't live with them.
Right, we've talked about some of the worst parts of the movie-going experience, but let's talk about some of the smaller annoyances. Let's talk about 3D. That's just a BS means of getting more money out of your wallet. Most of the time, the 3D is just a gimmick that doesn't really add with a movie. If you want 3D effects with a movie, that movie needs to be made with 3D in mind. Otherwise, it just looks like a mess and it gives you a headache and oh dear God, I'm going cross-eyed. Hell, I remember when I was a kid, there was an attempt to do smell-o-vision. Yeah, I really want to know what Vin Diesel stinks like when I'm watching a film. Now, according to my research, smell-o-vision was only used 5 times, 4 times too many if you ask me. Then there's also the rumble seats. Oh, joy, these things. For those who don't know, those are just what the name implies. They're supposed to be like the rumble packs from the Nintendo 64, only in chair form. They're supposed to shake whenever something big happens in a movie, like, an explosion. It's for the sake of immersion, but all it did was annoy me and make me drop my soda onto my lap. Not much to say here, but here's what you need to know. Don't do the gimmicks.
Theater horror stories.
Now, how about I give you guys some horror stories about my worst experiences I've had with movie theaters. Let's start with something that quite a few of you are probably typing on the comments section right now. You're probably wondering why I don't talk about kids in the audience section. To be honest, a lot of the films I watch are films that parents don't take their kids to. That doesn't mean that kids can't be annoying in theaters, but kids do have the right to see the movies too, as long as they're at the appropriate age. I mean, I wouldn't want to see a baby be taken to Friday the 13th, but whatever. That being said, one of the horror stories comes from when I was watching an animated movie that I've been wanting to see for a while, the Ratchet & Clank movie. Don't judge me! But back onto point, I was being disappointed with the film, and that didn't help the fact that there was a bunch of little kids who were seated behind me. I couldn't get into the back in time, so I was forced to sit elsewhere. And about halfway through the film, I was met with a cold, wet, sticky feeling at the back of my head. And I'm not the kind of griffin who gets mad about small things, but this was enough for me to stand up and leer at the kids behind me. And let me tell you, I'm a tall guy. Those kids went quiet when the tall, scary griffin with Mountain Dew dripping down from his head and fire in his eyes were leering at them, and I hate Mountain Dew! Needless to say, the kids got quiet.
Theater horror. Wait, didn't I already say this? Seriously, what the fuck? What am I getting paid for? You're making me do the same things over again. I quit.
From my previous nightmare experience in the theaters, let's talk about another couple of times that are similar to each other what happened a couple of years ago. So I went to the films by myself once, mainly because I had the night off and I wanted to be a bit of a loner. Maybe going to a movie theater was a bad idea, but I wanted to spend a few hours watching a film and I didn't want to be stuck at home. Anyway, back to the theater, I once again got robbed by the prices, and after sneaking in a Subway sub because I gotta eat fresh and be able to fit into the pants I've had since high school, I go in, I see that I got the jackpot here. Hardly a soul in the theater, and I was gonna see my way to the seats in the back. Now, the lights were already starting to darken, and I was watching the previews when it happened. Yep, I sat down in something wet. Yes, it is probably my fault for not looking and realizing that someone had knocked over their soda in the seat, but you wanna know why I shouldn't be fully blamed for this? Because it's the theater's responsibility to make sure their theaters are clean. After all, that's why someone always waits at the entrance to the theater with a broomstick. Learn to use it! Look, unless I'm watching something that would make my mom look down at me with a look of disappointment, I don't want to get wet in a theater. But what's also worse is when the next time I decide to go to the theater, something terrible happened. Nothing like watching a comedy flick, something to brighten your day. And hey, once again I had the theater almost to myself. No kids throw Mountain Dew on me this time, and guess what? No wet seat as well. Yay! And you know what? I actually enjoyed the film. Almost no one was on their phones, at least no one who was at actual throwing distance of me, and I was able to enjoy my rotisserie chicken in peace. So when the film was over, I had a smile on my face and tried to move. And that's when I came to a realization. I couldn't lift my shoes up. My shoes were stuck to the ground! Yes, something was on the floor that had cemented my soles of my shoes where I stood. Theaters, teach your employees how to actually clean. I don't want to have a wet butt or leave with my shoes stuck on the floor. Look, theaters can be a great place to enjoy some time to yourself or with others, but then I've gotten to the point where it's a rarity to enjoy a good film, and a good portion of the problems are caused by the movie theaters and the audience with no actual common courtesy. And I know, it's practically impossible to change people, and as much as I would love to take a $5 large slush and dump it down the pants of some schmo who thinks that he and his friends are the next generation of Mystery Science Theater 3000, it's not gonna happen. Nothing's gonna change. At least not like this. I love movies. I just don't like the theaters. But what do you guys think? Do you have any movie theater horror stories? Or do you have any complaints at all? Share them down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And if you like these kinds of videos, let me know too. Be sure to give a like, subscribe, share the video. I'm MangaKamen, and remember to examine your fandom.